Hey everybody, Chad Watts here with Bender Insurance Solutions. Your construction risk and insurance specialist. Have you recently heard the phrase nuclear verdicts? When I think of nuclear verdicts, I think of big, bad, good for no one. Everyone loses. Nuclear verdicts issued by juries are becoming more and more common though. In a recent CPCU Insights article, they specifically discuss a case that, I quote, is an example of a nuclear verdict, a verdict in excess of $10 million that is significantly higher than would be expected given the plaintiff's damages, end quote. Have you heard of a case that fits this description? What I like most about the article is that it goes into the psychological warfare that plaintiffs' attorneys use to influence a jury's decision. I quote again, the strategy is to make the jurors feel threatened so that they're more likely to lash out at the perceived attacker, the public safety rule breaking defendant. They go on to say the plaintiff's bar has been using this strategy for the past decade to drum up the requisite jury anger to deliver a nuclear verdict, end quote. This is a real risk for business owners. This is a public mindset that turns a business owner into the bad guy that should be penalized. Now, many of you may never be looking at a verdict that exceeds $10 million, but you may be faced with a verdict that is, I quote again, significantly higher than would be expected given the plaintiff's damages. For the past several years, I've been focusing on commercial auto insurance because auto insurers have been correcting their position with premium collected versus claims paid out. They fell behind for years, and now carriers are playing catch up. We have more vehicles on the road causing more accidents. We have more technology in vehicles driving up the cost of repairs. We also have juries awarding these nuclear verdicts. We see minor fender benders get in front of a jury where verdicts reach close to $1 million. In more serious accidents, hundreds of millions. How does this affect you and your insurability? If we step back and look at what insurers are doing, you find that they're doing what you would do. You would identify your biggest exposure to loss and either avoid it altogether or do everything you could to mitigate or reduce the risk. Some insurers are avoiding certain classes of business like construction or trucking. Some are mitigating and looking at low risk insureds that are focused on safety and defensive driving. Insurers, they're trying to avoid trial. So you'll see an increase in settlements that exceed your expectations, but is still less than what a jury might award. So this discussion around nuclear verdicts and the public mindset is another reason for you to take action. Let's look at risks facing your company and develop a clear plan of action to avoid the risk of these nuclear verdicts. When it comes to commercial auto, let's develop a defensive driving plan. When it comes to general liability, let's develop a quality control plan. When it comes to workers' compensation, let's develop a clear safety plan. Let's take the next step together and develop risk management solutions to these growing problems. I hope this finds you well. Call me